The farm-to-table or farm-to-fork movement originated between the 1960s and 70s in areas like Boulder, Colorado, Seattle, Washington, and Berkeley, California. It is a food movement that encourages both consumers and restaurants to use local farms for their products instead of getting the food shipped from faraway locations. The farm-to-table idea benefits the local economy by allowing consumers to support both farmers and businesses, as well as allowing them to participate in ethical consumerism. The farm-to-table movement spread throughout the country and is especially vibrant in cities that are surrounded by viable farmland. Greenville, South Carolina has a particularly active foodie community that perpetuates the movement because of its convenient geography. With ample nearby farmland and ocean access, the local foods available are abundant and diverse. Foodie participation is vital to the success of the movement because it requires the consumer to value local produce and meats as superior to industrial food products. Though local farms may produce smaller crops at higher prices, the typical upper-middle-class foodie embraces it because of what it represents. Buying a bundle of radishes at the farmer's market is more than just part of a meal. It is supporting the idea of eating naturally and embracing the local economy while making an environmentally conscious contribution. We argue that the farm-to-table movement fosters interdependent relationships between restaurants, local farms, and customers in the Greenville area by appealing to the foodie community and ultimately creates a new food consumption structure. Let's take a look at some of the key players involved in the farm-to-table movement in Greenville. The following is an interview with George, the owner of Reedy River Farms, an urban farm in downtown Greenville. George sells his produce to many local high-end restaurants and clients through the Community Supported Agriculture, or CSA program.
We sell a lot direct to consumer, which means we sell just to everyday people, like as a retailer, but 30% of my business comes from restaurant sales. So I work with 4 or 5 chefs really closely. I mean, it's kind of what my business is revolved around. It's like the whole reason we're out here is because there's a demand for, farm-to-table experiences, and we're just trying to capitalize on that. So it's really just the whole idea. 2 years ago when we started here, we had a really hard time selling all our food, and now I can't keep up with the amount of demand that's there. It's been pretty crazy, and there's been 30 restaurants opened up that are happy to buy from local farmers, and I basically just text them every week and say, here, this is what I have, and try to price it fairly, and they tell me what they want, and we harvest it and deliver it, and that's basically it. That's our relationship. They give me the money, I give them the food.
Elion is a baker at Swamp Rabbit Cafe in Travelers Rest. According to their website, Swamp Rabbit Cafe has become a hub for local foods and artisan products, carrying everything from greens and meats to soaps and deodorants. It is also a local icon booming with customers.
Yes. So the reason I started working at Swamp was because I had a mutual friend with a chef, and I always enjoyed going there and seeing all the vegetables, and the fact that they are farm-to-table definitely influenced my decision, because I used to work on a farm in Switzerland, and I just love the whole how fast it goes from coming in from the farmers to what we're using in the kitchen to what we're serving in the cafe, and it just makes you more conscious of what you're dealing with, whether that's the flavors, to just the vitamins and nutrients that you get, or just the taste difference between organic strawberries and non-organic. Not sure about how it influences your body, but there's definitely a taste difference. I think there's a wide variety of clients that we have. We have people that are vegan, that ask for vegan cakes for their 1-year-old, and we have just regular people that just love a good croissant or love a good cookie. We have everything in between, really, from bacon to chocolate to cookies, so a lot of different people all the time. And now that we started serving pizza, that also brings another clientele of just people who want to come and enjoy good food. Well, Swamp has hired a lot of people, and I think they plan farm trips, so our employees can go to the farmers. So we have lots of those trips, and so we can meet the farmers and see what they're producing, and see how they make their product that we sell. So I think it's really good. There's definitely someone that is in charge of the farm section, or that part of Swamp. So I'm not involved in it as much because I'm in the bakery, but it's very good. And we have farmers that always come to us and display what they're doing for other people to see, including the customers.
Celia was the 2016-2017 academic year Bon Appetit Fellow through the Furman University David E. Schei Center for Sustainability. This was one of the first opportunities for a student to work directly with the Bon Appetit Company.
Basically what they do is pick farms that are within a certain range, and if I remember correctly, it's a 150-mile range. It might be smaller than that, and they choose farms based on both their ethics and their size. They're just trying to make it so that people are getting good quality products that are, safe for them to eat. At each location, they try to have a certain percentage of their food come from the farm to fork program. I think it's 20%, if I'm correct. And right now, Furman currently has about 10%. And the reason it's only 10% is because Bon Appetit's only been here a year, and it's really trying to work on building those relationships with the farmers. But we're pretty lucky because we have a lot of farms in the area. They have a map for Furman of all the farms that could possibly be used. And there's a lot of different qualifications for the farms, like how big they have to be. They have to be owner operated and things like that. When you look at the map, there's these little icons, and it either tells you if they get fish or from this place, or if they get produce, like vegetables, or if they get meat, or dairy or something like that. I think it's really helpful for the students overall. I mean, even if they're not really understanding what's going on behind the scenes, they're just kind of seeing, we have a little bit different produce than we did with Aramark, or maybe we don't always have everything, it's a little bit less consistent, which maybe the students might not like as much. But then when you explain it to someone of why maybe we don't have this item every single day because we can't get it locally, and all the detrimental effects, then I think they start to understand. And so it's opening a conversation, even if at first the students might be upset because on one day we didn't have any bananas, or certain times we don't have any bananas. One, because they're expensive to get flown in and everything, and bananas are not the most carbon neutral kind of food, and so they're not technically the greatest for the environment. And so when students might complain and ask, if you open the discussion and tell them why they're not here, then they're a little more cognizant and understanding of what's going on. So I think they're doing a good job of moving people in the right direction, even if maybe they don't know why exactly or what's going on behind the scenes. I think they at least like the food better, which is good. Just chatting with some of the chefs and people, they say that it is a little bit more expensive, but when you have a really good relationship with the farmer, I think they're more willing to help you out. They both want to profit. Both of them want to profit, but if you have a good relationship, then I think the price may potentially go down, or even just be able to work out better deals.
The farm-to-table movement is anything but slowing down. Its steady expansion inspires involvement from people in all parts of the food industry, from consumers to restaurants to farmers to even institutions. Ultimately, this movement has inspired a shift in food consumption because of the desire to eat naturally, locally, and fresh. An excerpt from Johnston and Bauman's book, Foodies, describes it best. Line caught, grass-fed, cage-free. Buy local, choose sustainable, go for organic when you can. These words and phrases have become a mantra for many of us by now. The reasoning is simple. It's good for you. Research shows that organic produce really does have more nutrients. It's good for the local economy. Who would you rather support, a farmer you know or a nameless conglomerate? And it's good for the environment. Generally, the less distance food has to travel to get to your plate, the better. But perhaps the most important reason? Food produced this way and cooked with care simply tastes better.